Hey everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious Season 3. I am so happy that you all are joining me today. And if this is your first time joining me, which I hope it's not, this is a show that celebrates Black women and women of color founders, entrepreneurs, women who are changing the game. These women are disruptors, they are innovators, and they are people who are making our world a bit of a better place, which I think we can all say that we need a lot of that right now. So today I have an extraordinary entrepreneur with me today. And you're probably wondering, who is it, Trish? Who is it? Well, let me tell you all about her. So today on Too Ambitious, I have Dr. Samantha March. She is a chiropractor, a life coach, and author of the book, Harmonies of Life, Finding Alignment from Within. Oh my God, yes, I need to be this book is going to be a page turner, I'm sure. Now, this is her first book, but Dr. Sam shares her knowledge on how to thrive in your personal and professional life through health, nutrition, and self-improvement. Now, this Jamaican born doctor has a passion for whole person healing, which I think is amazing. She's blending clinical expertise with personal experience, and she helps others reconnect body, mind, heart, and soul through her work at Lignum Vitae Wellness. So I know that's a mouthful, and I'm pretty sure I got it right. But listen, let me bring on Dr. Sam right now. She's going to tell us all about her extraordinary work that she's doing. Welcome, Dr. Sam March.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you're here. And, today we're going to talk a lot about wellness. And, that's actually one of my favorite topics. And I'm guessing it's yours too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing it's yours too, but I think it's super important that we have a baseline of what it means to be healthy.
Yes.
And I love your journey. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So first of all, congratulations on the launch of your first book.
Thank
Harmonize, you're
you.
so welcome. Harmonize Your Life. Now, this book, according to you, it's filled with wellness strategies for high performing leaders.
Mhm.
And so, as we know, or as I've done my research, you are a successful coach and chiropractor with 15 years of healthcare experience.
Mhm.
So, tell me what inspired you to write this book in the first place.
So you kind of have to go through a little bit of life to
Right,
figure
right,
out
right, as we do.
things.
Yeah.
And so it honestly is a coupling of my personal experiences, professional experiences, and those of my clients. And
Yes.
it's an ode to them because they definitely have inspired this book. But Trish, the secret is actually this book was written for me. It
Mm.
was born out of a lot of change and suffering and changes in the last COVID years
Yeah,
to now. So the
yeah.
last 5 or so years. And it really placed me on a path that required me to sit down and do things differently because I noticed that life wellness was not the same for me anymore.
Right.
And I really needed to navigate this way of living differently.
Yeah.
And so it was born there out of my own therapeutic experiences
Yes.
that enabled me to couple it with my chiropractic knowledge. And here we have the baby born.
Oh my gosh. So you said you've gone through some challenges, right? And
Mhm.
listen, we all can relate, right? I mean, because sometimes life does life, you
Ah,
know.
yes.
Yeah. So, but what was the catalyst that was like, what was going on in your life during that
Yeah.
time that got
Well,
you to this point?
of course. Yeah. We explore that in the book in a sense of this pure honesty, because that's just
Right.
who I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about it. Which means that at that time, COVID happened. Um, I just gave birth. And when I
Okay.
did, um, it was, I believe it was about 2 or so days after it was deemed a pandemic. So it became this, run and race as an entrepreneur to save the practice, right? And in the midst of that, continuous self-sacrifice. I had
Yes.
already gotten so accustomed to doing that.
Yes.
Now was my moment, my time to connect with my baby and my family.
Right.
But to be fair and honest, relationships weren't okay. not just my personal one with my now ex-husband, but also just relationship with myself was so out of balance that I didn't quite know what to do to get out of this spiraling space of uh, we call it the rat race. But it is the reality that it's also what is happening in our lives that is spiraling out of control.
Yes.
And so when you add the personal to the business, and you got to put a smile on, and you have to do the things that make things tick, but you're inside just dying, it
Yeah.
really becomes a challenge to keep up that facade. So it started to leak, and it
Yeah.
leaked all over my team. It leaked all over my family, and it just became this very unhappy space.
Right.
So it led to me finally saying yes to me, and starting to create different relationships in my life. And then when I took the first step towards that, I was pregnant. And now, if anyone has been pregnant, they know it's already an emotional whirlwind.
Right.
But when you also now separate yourself from relationships that were challenging,
Right.
um, plus that, it
Yeah.
now doubles that emotional turmoil. So it just put me in a whirlspin post pregnancy with my second child a year later.
Wow.
Now we're 2022, wherein my work balance just never happened.
Yeah,
Right?
it didn't exist.
It just didn't exist. And it
Yes.
was imploding even more,
Oh my God.
now that I was a mother of 2, a single mother of 2, and also a business owner, and just trying to make it work.
Yes.
And I didn't have the answers anymore. So I reached out to a friend of mine who is a phenomenal mindfulness teacher and health coach. Knew her from Jamaica, from
Amazing.
high school. And she's just doing amazing big things. And I needed her help. I
Yes.
needed a way to navigate this life differently. She
Right.
works with high performance leaders as well. And she helped me to really take that first step of understanding how to live this life differently and how to consider a different way,
Yeah.
not a balanced way, because now I
Right.
truly have held on to the reality that doesn't exist. It's something we're trying to achieve that is a mathematical equation, and it's not real.
Oh
Um,
my
and
gosh.
instead, we ebb and flow, and that's what harmony actually means for me. And that's actually is what created this book,
Um,
recognizing that we needed to figure out a different way to ebb and flow with life.
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate you sharing, such a personal story, what landed with me is that, that you being a doctor is saying like, there's no perfect way to do this, and I think that's what we all sort of try and seek, right? Is trying to find that perfection, and it does not exist,
Nope.
So your book sort of explores ways how you can do it as life ebbs and flows, and ways that you can sort of navigate this. And it looks different for everybody, I'm sure, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
No one size fits all.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. We're all different people. So there's no way that your harmonic space of living your life is going to be the same as mine.
Right, right,
Right?
right.
Right.
And I know you're a chiropractor,
Yes.
and, growing up in Jamaica, did you think, I want to be a chiropractor? Like, was that always like your dream? Your
No, I didn't even know what that word meant when I was living in Jamaica.
I would assume as a kid, that's a pretty big word?
Listen, I had no idea what a chiropractor was until I was, I think, 19. And I met him for the first time walking through my door, through my church doors in Florida, talking about health. And I was like, at that time, pre-med, and I was going to become a medical doctor, conflicted maybe about that. Just, I don't like taking medication myself.
Okay.
So I didn't really think that I could congruently then tell someone else to do that as their
Right.
own way of expressing health and wellness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he walked through the door and explained and connected the body's amazing way of healing. And that, or brains and or spinal cords, are the is the transformational highway that allows for healing to happen. And if we honor the system, the framework that was innately created, that spinal structure, and really take care of it well, take care of those joints well, take care of the things that are attached to it well, like your muscles and all the other things, right? It allows us that beautiful opportunity to have better health possibilities,
Mhm.
amazing miracles, right? And I became that miracle story myself. And over time, it probably took about 4-ish years, but
Okay.
over time, I said, what if I were to become a chiropractor,
Yeah.
right? I still didn't quite say yes to that immediately, right?
Right.
But over time, it became a thought.
Yeah. And I know also too, and you'd mentioned before, you've been dealing with a few different health issues as well. So migraines, neck and back pain. So what steps did you start taking to heal yourself, and how did the chiropractic piece of this sort of kind of help you put you on this path?
Honestly, I didn't really do much except to show up to my appointments, if I'm completely honest, because even after looking at my spine for the first time and him connecting the information and all that, I still didn't quite get it, right?
Okay.
I understood the reality of the science around it, and I was willing to trust him as a doctor and trust the process.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until my first non-migraine day
Okay.
that I thought, maybe there's something about this that I actually should really
Yeah.
hold on to here.
Yeah.
So I just really did chiropractic and I just did my adjustments, and that's all I did because it's enough. Her
Yeah.
body is really craving simplistic ways of living and of
Yeah.
healing,
Yes.
wherever possible. We complicate it a lot.
Yeah.
We say it has to be this and that and this and that. Though in our practice, we have other therapies like massage, stretch, laser, spinal decompression, nutrition, et cetera, et cetera. We
Wow.
have those therapies as assistive therapies.
Okay.
But without them, the person can still heal quite well. We just know that we are in a very stressful environment, and with that stressful environment comes a lot of other things like bad eating,
Yeah.
terrible postures. So if
Yeah.
we're not helping our patients to help their muscles stretch more, have better balance, if we're not helping them to have better joint health and really teaching them what wellness actually looks like and
Yeah.
how movement is life to your body and to your brain, right? If we actually just get up more often during the middle of the day, instead of you walking to the coffee machine to get your second cup of coffee, walk around the office a little bit more, and you'll actually have more energy than that coffee cup would artificially stimulate for you,
Oh
right?
my
So
gosh.
it's the stuff like that our patients crave that the world's kind of sort of missing. So we're getting a little bit louder now
Yeah. Yeah.
than before about
You
it.
know, and I love that you say that really it's the simplicity of it and sort of getting up more and using our bodies. But I also want to say you've called out a lot of people with that coffee too, like that's usually what people start off their days with. I mean, I don't, but a lot of people start off their day like, I can't do anything without my coffee, so what do you say to people who are sort of in a routine of they get up, get their coffee, what steps should they take to start healing themselves from the inside out? Water.
Just
It's
gonna say that.
all roads come back to water. Okay, great.
Man, there's so many books about this, right? So many philosophies around this that if
Right.
we just drink more water,
Okay.
we would have less cravings. We
Okay.
think we're hungry, but we're actually thirsty. We're tired all the time because we're not drinking enough water because we're dehydrated. Our
Okay.
muscles ache and they're tight all the time because we're not hydrating them well enough.
Okay.
So if we started with water, it's something you can do right now in this moment.
Right.
It's magical how much change that can happen.
Right.
So, quick story, I had a patient that walked in with a water bottle. I thought it was a water bottle because it was a
Mhm.
good 16-ounce, no,
Yeah.
24-ounce bottle. So
Yeah.
you'd think it looks like a water bottle. It is a water bottle. So on our way out after a coaching session, I'm like, I'm so happy that you have your water with you. She's like, oh no, doc, that's my coffee. I said, sit back down. What do you mean it's your coffee? you know? And so I just challenged her. I said, love, this is literally killing your body. You need and she didn't just drink one of those a day. I think she drank like two of them a day. Like,
Whoa.
this is
Yeah.
intense, right? I mean, that's way too much coffee.
Yeah.
So I expressed to her that I'm not a cold turkey person, I'm not an all or nothing person, but I
Right.
am going to tell you that that's insane and that's way too much.
Yeah.
So what she did instead She got 2 of those bottles. She had one with water, one with coffee,
Because
and
balance.
yes and no, but we'll get to it. For 1 cup of coffee, you need 3 cups of water to counteract that puppy. Is it worth
Okay.
all of that stress? That's a lot of water. So she started to whittle it down, and what she did is what I'll encourage our listeners to do, which is as soon as you wake up, instead of you reaching for the coffee, reach for the water, and
Mhm.
your body will create more thirst and desire for water throughout the rest of the day. You
Okay.
can go a little further and put some lemon in that water overnight, make it room temperature, but cool enough that it actually is yummy.
Okay.
And if you really want to, you can even drop that lemon, half a lemon in that water, actually whole, cut up, organic, everything like that. And
Right.
it actually does such a good job of hydrating your body from the very first awake point.
Okay.
That way, it sparks, you have to go to the bathroom. You got to get the digestion system going.
Yeah.
It allows for your body to start the right types of hydration.
Right.
So anyway, she started doing that. And then by the time she came back to her second health coaching session, which is about, I guess, 2 months later, based on how we do everything in our practice,
Right.
before then, she was saying walking around with her water bottle, and she actually didn't need coffee anymore. Didn't need
Mm.
it anymore. She
Okay.
just
Well, how long did that take though?
it was a couple weeks. It was a couple
Oh,
weeks.
okay.
It was a
Okay.
couple weeks. But by the time we came back to the next session and we on our little questionnaire, we do have there how much stimulant, how many stimulants do you intake throughout the day?
Right.
We give examples like coffee, soda, anything that's caffeinated is a stimulant. And she put 0.
Wow. Two
So
weeks. Okay. So 2 weeks you can change your life.
yeah, I'd say about 3-ish weeks. She
Okay.
had so within 2 weeks, she was down to 1 cup of coffee, not 1
Okay.
bottle.
Okay.
And then she just continued to just gradually cut it down. And she started noticing she's like, I have more energy. And by the time we got to her second health coaching session, she was working out more intensely. She had a trainer. She was drinking. So she started with chiropractic.
Okay.
Then she continued with changing her lifestyle. Her
Okay.
backpack was too heavy. She started to actually cart it around instead, on wheels instead of on her back, right?
Awesome.
So less stress. She started to change how she slept. She started asking about ergonomics. How can I change the way that my desk and setup is for me at home as well as
Right.
at work? Finding solutions for her laptop to be more ergonomic, right?
Yeah.
And then it became coffee. And then shifting that to water, and now she's working out. So it's a cascading effect, you know?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
start small, but sometimes the trigger is, man, I've been hurting for too long. I should probably go see someone holistic about that to figure out where can I start and then
Right.
going from there.
Yeah, and I love that it's all about starting small. It's not just, jumping in and trying to do a bunch of things all at the same time because we know that doesn't work. So, I love your approach, and I think that the work that you're doing is so important, and we all probably can benefit from it, especially where we are right now. Talk a little bit about your business, your wellness coaching business for your clients. You mentioned your client and the type of work that you do.
Mhm.
How would you describe the work that you do with your clients through your company and business?
So it is a transformational experience. It truly starts with first connecting with the chaos. It's a theme in my book that is really resonating a lot with my high performance leaders.
Okay.
And what exactly that means is recognizing that the world is chaotic
Yeah.
and we don't have to be the chaos. We can be in
Ooh.
it, but
Right.
not it.
Right.
So,
Right.
how can we separate the two? So, we explore that concept with self awareness.
Right.
So, we start with self awareness, which is one of the first chapters in the book, in
Right.
reference to how can we actually start to acknowledge or part to play in this chaos,
Oh my gosh.
or the creator of the chaos, and
Okay.
how can we actually start to navigate this differently by being more curious about our health and ourselves and connecting with the right team to help us explore that.
Right.
My desire was for this book to be a catalyst, a starting process for everyone to
Yeah.
start to look into the other aspects of life, and then to remind themselves that recovering perfectionists like myself, that it's okay, because I wrote this
Right.
book, right? So it's okay to have and want and desire and be ambitious and want all the things in life, and recognize that it also may not look exactly as you planned it to.
Yeah.
And it's actually all right. It's fine. All things are good as they are, as you work towards them being better. So
Right.
the connection of the chaos, starting with self awareness, and really starting to dive into the 6 C's of harmony, as we talk about in the book, to truly learn more about how can I embrace my health and my life differently. Because if the world is chaotic anyway, me working into the wee hours of the morning isn't going to really change that in this moment. So
What?
let's start over, Trish. Let's do this differently. And
You
then we'll
mean,
have a better life.
listen, working in the wee hours of the night, I don't know. I feel like that a lot of people can relate to that
Yeah.
in doing that type of thing. What's like your process for working with someone who is very ambitious and pushing themselves to that limit, working long hours, drinking the coffee first thing in the morning? Like,
Mhm.
how do you start with somebody who comes into your office to get them on the right track?
Hmm. As a person that ebbs and flowed with that, right? Being that exact person you described, um, I realized that it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Now, for that person who's like chasing, right, that ambitious desire,
Yeah.
it's not to quench the desire. It's not to say that you cannot be ambitious. It's
Right.
to say that we need to do it differently. It's to say
Mm.
that we need to actually realize that you don't want to get to the point of achieving that result
Right.
and be either dying emotionally or physically,
Right.
or both. Because that's usually what brings them into my office, is they did the chase, but their body is so burnt out, so tapped out. Their
Yeah.
mind is so far gone. And that is the reason why we start with education first, right?
Okay.
We start with a consultation. We start
Okay.
with x-rays if they're a chiropractic patient. If they're a coaching client first, then we'll start with just talking. Let's walk
Yeah.
through some of the things
Yeah.
after filling out this questionnaire as to what exactly is going on. And
Right.
then let's make sure that we're aligning together in the
Right.
results and the goals that you're looking for. And if I'm the right fit for you, great. If not, no worries. But
Right.
allow for the best mind and body alignment possible, right?
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
starts with that, aspect of being self-aware enough to
Yeah.
recognize that, I can still have those things, but I need to achieve them differently, and
Right.
I will need to achieve them healthily.
Right.
Let's start there.
Yeah. I think that, all the things that you've described, I mean, so many of us can really sort of realize that we're not living in harmony,
Mhm.
right? But I think that where we are right now, I think, and I think you touched on it a little bit, we are waking up to realizing that there are other ways to live well.
Yes.
There are other ways to be. Tell me a little bit about like your virtual wellness coaching. Like, I know they're tailored towards women in small groups. I'm showing here on your website.
Mhm.
Um, Tell me a little bit about the different programs that you have. Is it just one program that someone can be a part of, or do you customize it, you personalize it, right?
That's a great question. In my very ambitious nature, everything is possible at all times. So yes, we can do both, right? We can do the group coaching and the virtual coaching as well. And
Right.
though it says, and yeah, it says it right there, woman, right? I do work with a lot of men.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of men. It's not exclusive just to women. And here's the reason. Even for a woman to have a healthy, happy life, the men in their life too need to be healthy and happy. So
Right.
I work with both.
Yeah.
And they don't have to know each other or be related to each other. They're
Right.
independent usually.
Yeah.
But we can work with couples. We can work with not a counselor in any which way for anyone.
Right.
However, there are coaching aspects that are similar that can be very helpful to people to transform their lives singly and relationships separately. As relationship with self and also relationship with others. So it tends to be very synchronous with groups,
Absolutely.
organizations as well. We do health workshops where I'll come in and I'll actually do specific physical um,
Amazing.
and virtual um, uh, workshops. Sorry about that. Yeah, virtual workshops to allow for the education around this to really spark activity, spark
Mm,
thought, spark the get the juices flowing and the communication going with the teams, the organizations around
right.
how they can even lead more harmoniously, not just actually have it individually as well. And I think because we always try to run after this concept of balance,
Yeah.
we have to then remind ourselves that harmony is what we're actually seeking for daily.
Yeah.
And what the word harmony actually is ebb and flow.
Yeah.
That's the definition that I have for it in the book. It's an ebb and flow.
Right.
Go with the flow. Go with like move like water.
Ooh.
As Bruce Lee said back in the day. I hear,
Okay.
um, and that allows for us to then not have this big goal of achievement that we're
Yeah.
running after, but to recognize that it's a continuous journey. And
Yeah.
because it's a journey, we get to enjoy it. We don't have to just run, 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 run and not look up and see and realize that we actually have arrived in phases, in stages, but we still get to keep dreaming, right? And
Yeah.
that is the beauty of it as well. So when we work with our clients, whether they're organizations or whether they're individuals, we start off with a conversation of, well, what are your needs? What are
Right.
you looking for?
Mhm.
And then we go from there to create and what exactly would be the best solution for them.
Right. And I think that what you were doing is incredible because obviously much needed for a lot of us right now. And tell me a little about so the name of your company, and I don't want to butcher it. So the name of your company, tell me, Lignum Vitae, right?
Yes.
Wellness.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
perfect. Tell
it.
me about it.
Yeah, so Lignum Vitae Wellness was birthed out of connecting my heritage as a Jamaican. Lignum
Okay.
Vitae is actually our national flower, and it also is the tree of life. That's what it means.
Yes.
And in the middle of that logo is a spine. It connects the
Yeah.
actual reality of wood being hard. It is the lignum vitae tree is the hardest wood, one of the hardest. I think is the second hardest wood in the world.
Okay.
Um, Coupling that with our bone being the hardest structure in our body, it
Wow.
aligned for me. And then the trees, our networks, their branches, the leaves, all
Wow.
that stuff, just like our nerves are inside of our body.
It's beautiful.
So it's an aliveness. Thank you. It's being alive, being expressive, being your best self, being
Mhm.
all of those things
Yeah.
that we wanted to create. And that's what that logo represents for me.
I love it.
However, as new as it is, we literally are birthed this month. I've been in practice for by end of December 11 years. And we've had
Wow.
a practice under a different name that now has this name.
Okay.
We've had that practice in the same community in Dunwoody, Georgia, north of Atlanta.
Yeah.
We've had that practice for the last almost 10 years now.
Wow.
April next year will be
Incredible.
10 years that it's been in the community.
Wow.
So now it's rebranded as Lignum Vitae Wellness. Everyone's excited. And we wanted to be this as a home, a space for true education,
Absolutely.
thou worth of understanding,
Yep.
knowing that you can walk into this practice and get exercise rehabilitation. We have such a stellar team of providers. I'm
Right.
not solo in practice anymore. So, though I am the chiropractor and owner of that location, we also have a phenomenal chiropractor, Dr. May Varela, who is also an exercise rehabilitation specialist, movement specialist.
Right.
We have two phenomenal massage therapists that do therapeutic work. My team of directors and assistants are phenomenal as well in laser applications, spinal rehabilitation. Um,
Yeah.
so we really have created a way for us to help our patients heal their bodies physically, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah.
And if we can actually attune to that just a little bit more every day,
Yeah.
then that's what harmony is all about.
Yes, and I love the work that you're doing, and I love that you're so active in the community as well, and your community loves you and loves the work that you're doing, and they benefit so much from it as well. So, you
They
know,
do.
yeah. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing with your business and your community. As we're wrapping up now, tell us all where we can find you, how we can work with you,
Yes.
um, because we all need harmony in our lives every day. So, reach out to Dr. Sam March if you're trying to find harmony in your life.
Hello. Well,
Hey.
the book Harmonize Your Life is available for
Okay.
everyone on Amazon right now in all
Mhm.
forms,
Love
except
it.
for audio, working on
Okay.
it.
Love it.
We also have opportunity for
Okay.
virtual and live opportunities as well.
Okay.
I'm in my practice a few days a week, so you can work with me directly there. If
Mhm.
you're specifically looking for coaching, I can do that virtually or in person.
Okay.
And so you can go to harmonizeliving.com.
Okay.
And you can also reach me at drsammarch.com.
Mhm. Okay.
Either one of them will help you to get to me.
Yeah.
But I'm also Googleable. So if you
You're
really need to
Googleable.
find me, if
Yes.
you can't find me any other way, you could look for my information, reach out to my team, and they'll make sure that we connect so that we can help you personally or your organization as well.
Yes, absolutely. And you say organizations, so you work with organizations, not just individuals as well.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Actually, next month we will be at 3 different health fairs that are all organization based and city based.
Yes.
We'll also have in-person workshops at my practice moving forward as well. So sometimes that offers easier for group coaching,
Right.
and educational spaces. But we
Right.
work with organizations all the time. So whether
I
it's
love
me
it.
coming in person to do things or virtually,
Mhm.
definitely it can
Yeah.
happen.
I love it. Well, like on your website, it says 10,000 served, trusted coach in chiropractic, 15 years healthcare experience, 14 years entrepreneurial experience. I mean, listen, guys, you're not going to get any better health information than right here with Dr. Sam March. So,
Yeah.
respect. So, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Dr. Sam March, for taking the time to share with us and bring a little harmony to our day. You
Yeah.
know,
Thank
if
you.
you want to pick up Dr. Sam March's book, Harmonize Your Life, you can find it on Amazon, and also to follow her on LinkedIn. Like,
Yes, do it. And I am Dr. Sam March, handle everywhere. So social media, great way to connect with me as well.
yeah, great way to find you. And I feel like you're going to get hit up a lot because
I'm down. Let's do it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much again for your time. So appreciate you being here today with us on Too Ambitious. And I will see you on LinkedIn, or I don't know, the next time I'm in Georgia, I'm going to have
Do
to stop in,
it. Thank you.
get
I'm
myself
excited.
aligned or harmonized.
Right. Oh, it was my pleasure, Trish. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time for another amazing episode of Too Ambitious. Bye, everyone.